Welcome back to our Global iTech Solution GITS Playwright channel on lecture 6. Before you started this lecture, I highly encourage you to complete previous lecture related with this course. Let's get started. In this lecture only, we'll be discussing about and seeing how to create users and delete users at a time. So in previous lecture, we saw the fetching the users, then fetching the list of users, fetching the single users, then creating a single users. Now today we'll be seeing creating users and deleting users at a time. So we'll be going into our Regress website. So we'll be using a dummy mock data for the deletion. So this is our delete endpoints. If you click on the delete endpoints, you'll be seeing API users 2, right? So this endpoint will be using it. So this endpoint also we are using for the create. So let's go ahead and see it on the Postman. So if you come back to over here, this is our delete endpoints, right? So if you delete with the number 2, you will get a 204 no content. Please remember, you are getting 204 no content. So there is no body of it. So it is empty body, right? So 204 no contents, which is once you're deleting it. So now, as you see on the previous lecture, so we created our users, right? So this is the body we optimized, API users, right? Then we expect it is 201. Then also we console out the status text, which is a 201. Response status, basically like what is it? Is it okay or is it created? So that's created. Then this is the console out also for debugging purpose is a text entire body of the response and entire response body, right? So then we validate entire response body with the not entire response body with the like name and the ID, name and titles. We validate it. So right, we optimize a little bit the code. We put them JSON file and call the JSON file over here and validated it. Now today we'll be create users and delete users at a time. So for creating the users, we need still API users endpoints and the body of it. Then we are validating it is being created 201, right? Then from the 201, from the body of the response, so we declared a body equal void response.json, right? So once it is giving you a response, so that response you put them in a reference variable. So then you just need from the JSON response ID, that ID, right? So if you go back to Postman, let's say if you are using get here, so that's mean from this you are needing only this ID in order to deleting it, right? Because you see the 2 on the top. So that's mean you are deleting user by the ID. So if you switch to get delete again with the 2, if you click send, so that's mean you are deleting the users 204 no content, right? So we'll be seeing over here the same thing, basically where enter response body we declare with the body as a constant. Then from that body, so we are getting the ID, body.id equal, we're declaring the ID. So now we are printing that ID also. So what is the ID number? So once it is created with the users associated with. So these users, when it is created, it will be associated with the ID. So we printed out the ID in the console, you will be seeing it. Then we call that ID in the delete endpoints. So you see the another endpoints, constant delete endpoints equal void request.delete. Then we are using API users, then this ID which is we generated from the previous post request. Then expect to be 204. That is the same status code, you are seeing it 204. And also we are printing out the status text and printing out the status code. So let's go ahead and see it. It is working or not, right? Let's run it. npm run test. Now should be able to see there will be 2 tests, 1 workers. And on that 2 test, let's go ahead and from the top, 2 tests. The first one is created. Let's see, the text is created, status code is 201. The text, status text, is basically this entire text. The second part, come back over here, expect validate. This is our response body, this is our ID, this is the ID, console.log ID. Now, if you're seeing over here, you see the created user ID, right? So this is the created user ID, 285. Then you call that ID into the delete endpoint, 285, API user 285, and validate the status code 204. So basically, the 204 is a status code, and the status text is a no content. This is how it's work, how you extract that ID from the response body and calling that ID into the delete endpoints. Also, you can right now it's a post request over here. You can also use put or update. You can update the users here. Once you update, then you can delete it. So that part I'm gonna leave it for you to do the homework. So update part, like you can use put or you can use patch, any one of them. So if there is a larger modification, you'll be using put. The patch will be as a specific single modification that will be patch. Hope you enjoyed this course. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. Stay tuned for upcoming lecture for the rest of the course. Thank you.